What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you are new here. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be sharing with you some amazing drugstore dupes for high-end makeup. All of these I have tested for myself. Most of them I already had like on hand originally. A few I did buy for this video just to test out obviously before filming. But I was actually really surprised at how close these dupes are to the high-end makeup. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing half of my face. So this half of my face will be high-end and this half will be drugstore. And then we will kind of see if you can even tell the difference by the end. Sorry I've been absent for a couple weeks. I've been dealing with some medical stuff, but I think I'm on the mend now. So I'm really just super excited to get back into filming. So with that being said, everything you will ever need from me will be linked down below in the description box. So all of the products I discussed with you today, any additional links that I have with discount codes, my Amazon store, socials, all of that, you can find it right down here. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. So starting off with primer, I've got two different primers here. This is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This retails for $39, and then we have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and this retails for $9. So right off the bat, you're saving $30 with this one, and they are almost identical, so I will show you how they actually look in the pot. I've only used the e.l.f. one a couple of times. A little goes a long way with this, but you can see that they really are just like, the color is almost identical. They look very similar. This obviously has a wider pot than this one. This one's obviously a lot more expensive. This comes in a glass container. This one comes in plastic. Now, normally you wouldn't have this fancy cap. This was holiday packaging, and I've had this for like probably 2 years now. Primers last a long time, especially poreless primers. So I'm just gonna start out with the Tarte primer on the right side of my face. It might be on your left actually, but my right. And just kind of put that in all the places where I have enlarged pores, which for me is usually kind of like above the eyebrows, around the nose and inner cheek. And just patting that into the skin. I do notice with these like putty primers or the primers that are pore filling, you kind of have to let them set a bit before you go in with your foundation. Otherwise it can kind of like move and just like pick up when you put the foundation down. Like you'll just get really patchy. So especially with the Tarte primer for some reason. So just something to note. And then on this side of my face, just going in with the e.l.f. primer. This one is a lot more of a almost liquidy consistency. The other one is very waxy feeling. This one is much like smoother and easier to spread. And with that being said, a little definitely goes a long way with this one. So just something to note. This one also has kind of like a cooling sensation when you're applying it, whereas the other one just feels like, I don't know, waxy. This is the Tarte side. I do feel like the Tarte one does work just a little bit better, but it is a higher price point. I think the e.l.f. one works pretty well too. I do notice a little bit more like visible pores right in this area, whereas on this side, I feel like they are a lot more filled in. Moving right along into foundation, this is a very exciting dupe. Like, get ready for this dupe, you're gonna be shook. I found a dupe for the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which retails for a whopping $64. Now, I love this foundation. This is like, as far as like foundations go, this is kind of like my ride or die. Like, I know I'm gonna look amazing when I wear this, but I found a dupe. And that is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Foundation, and this is their tinted hyaluronic serum. And this retails for $19.99. Are we shooketh? Because I am. And this color match is like almost identical as well. Like, they look so similar. So I have the shade 4.5 in the Giorgio Armani, and then in the L'Oreal True Match, this is 324 Light Medium. Now, I will say the shades are not as amazing in the L'Oreal, just because it's more of like a skincare based type of makeup. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from just the way that they present this, the hyaluronic tinting serum. It's called a serum. So yeah, this could use some more shade ranges. I will give it that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a pump of the Giorgio Armani on this side of my face. And I'm going to be using a sponge, I think, to blend all of this out. We're having a hard time matching the skin lately. You know when the self-tan just wears off and then your foundation just doesn't want to match? It's like such a struggle, honestly. I'm just going to hold this mirror. Now this really just like melts right into the skin. Like, it is very lightweight. Like, you would not remember that you even put on makeup with this foundation. It just really like absorbs right in. And it's definitely buildable. I won't like sit here and say it's a full coverage foundation because in my opinion it's definitely not. But I think you can build it up to be more medium. I like to just kind of start out light and work my way up though, because I do prefer like a more light to medium coverage. I don't like the feeling of having a lot of foundation on my face. But this is actually, you know, blending in really nicely and not looking too different from my skin tone. So we love to see that. Now here's actually something that I do want to point out, because I feel like this is very important to say, and this is not any fault of the foundation. It is the primer. So this primer, like I've sat here, this has been, you know, absorbed and dried into my face for a good almost 5 minutes now, and you can see there is some patching happening with the foundation. And this doesn't matter if I use, you know, a brush, it just happens. So you will see it right when the camera focuses. So it's just like right in this area here. It does not lay down nicely at all. I don't know why that is. It drives me insane. That's the main reason that I stopped using this and looked for a dupe. So I'm going to try and add a little bit more of that foundation on a brush and see if we can remedy the situation. Like maybe it's just the sponge, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's literally just the primer. Which is so unfortunate because, you know, like if you're paying that kind of money, like if you're paying $40 for a primer, it better freaking work. Like, it shouldn't be picking up and like patching your skin. Like, it's just not a good look. So anyway, I feel like this side already looks like shit. It is not the foundation's fault. It is definitely the primer. So I'm going to go ahead now and apply the L'Oreal on this half of my face. I know you're not like supposed to touch the dropper to your face, but like honestly, I just don't have time to care. So I used this side of the sponge for this side of my face, so I'm going to use this back side of the sponge for this side. Just that way we're not like, you know, mixing the foundations. But we aren't having that issue with the patching in this area. So the e.l.f. Putty Primer is just elite compared to the Tarte, in my personal opinion. Like, you may not get as much of the pore filling initially. This side of my face just looks so much better. So since I added a little extra on this side with a brush, I'm just going to do the same thing on this side just so that we have, you know, an even take. But already I can tell that this is not, you know, getting all messed up with the primer. Like, it's not getting all, you know, bunchy, and it's not picking up. It's just applying it nice and smoothly. So again, e.l.f. primer, it's just better, like, you know, and it's a quarter of the price, even less. Yeah, it's literally like just about a quarter of the price. So I mean, don't ask me to do math, but you can just see like how much better this side has already applied than this side. Even though the foundations are very, very similar, I feel like the finish to the foundations is pretty similar. It's just the primer on this side really, like, I know I keep going on about it, but my god, it's just not it. Okay, so this is another one that I feel like you're gonna be shooketh with, and it is concealer. I found a dupe for the infamous NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this retails for $30. And the dupe that I have is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Creamy Concealer, or maybe creamy's not in the word, but Radiant Concealer. So they both have the Radiant Concealer in there. This one is $12.99, this one is $30. Oh my god, they're literally almost identical. I don't have the same colors here, so this one is lighter than this one, and that is just because I was kind of in the mood for like a more brightening concealer, whereas this one I really wanted to kind of more match and just like, you know, look a bit more natural. So we're gonna go ahead now and just apply this under the eyes in all the usual places, over here. And I have a smaller little concealer brush. So again, I'll use this end for the side, this end for the other. I sound literally so stuffy. It's because I am. Now, I really love this concealer. I love the way that it blends out. It's just so, like, natural. And I feel like it's just, like, the perfect shade for looking like you're not wearing concealer. You know when it's, like, too white bright, like, you know she's wearing concealer. Like, I like that this one, you can't really tell. So anyway, going in with the L'Oreal on the other side, you will see this one is quite a bit more brightening. This one is also a little bit more liquidy. And with the L'Oreal, I do feel like it's a little bit more of a lighter coverage, so I typically like to add just a second coat there just to build it up more. But I like that it's buildable. I don't like it when concealers go on super full coverage right away. I like to have some control. So in my mind, the two look very, very similar. This one, like I said, is a little bit more light, but you can build it up. This one goes on a little more full coverage right away. So personal preference, but you are only paying like half the price for the other one. So I'd say give it a whirl. The next dupe I have is a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. So here is the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finishing Powder. I have the shade 2 Medium here. Now this retails for $45, so it is a bit steep, but it is amazing. I do love it. And the dupe I have is actually by the brand Number 7, which I only discovered when I came to Europe, but they do have it in America, which is interesting. And this is the Number 7 Flawless Finishing Powder, also in the shade Medium. So they both have basically the exact same name. Like literally, if you look at the names on the backs of these two, it is really just almost identical. So Airbrush Flawless Finish Perfecting Powder, Flawless Finishing Powder. I mean, they both have Flawless Finishing Powder in the name. So the colors are slightly different. You can see the Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit lighter and this one is a little bit deeper. But when you apply them, it's really hard to notice. So we're gonna go ahead now and just take a fluffy brush and I am going to just put this all over the side of my face. I don't have another brush, so I'm just dusting this one off. And I'm just gonna go in. And set everywhere. Now I do feel like this side is a little bit more mattified than this side, and I don't know if that is just due to the difference of the foundation or if perhaps the powder for Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit more mattifying and this one maybe is a little bit more radiant. But it's not a huge difference. I would say both sides of my face look pretty similar, pretty even so far, which I'm very excited about. Moving right along, I actually don't have the next one anymore. I had it for years and years and years, but I pretty much used it up, and that was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. If you watch my older videos, you would have seen it religiously in all of them. That retails for $40. However, when I was out, I was just like, I can't be asked to be freaking spending $40 on a contour kit. Like, it's just not for me. And then so I discovered Makeup Revolution makes a contour kit. This actually has a couple more shades in it, and this was a whopping $10. And literally, like, the colors, like, this whole area is, like, identical to the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't really use these two anyway. I typically use the ones on the bottom here. I will say the lid did come off. I mean, I can put it back on. There is a nice big mirror in here. Oh, there's my filming equipment. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and contour my face. Unfortunately, since I don't have the other one, I guess we're just gonna be doing this on both sides of the face. So apologies there. I know this isn't really a very fair review of these two. So you guys know, if you've watched me for any amount of time, I love my Bare Minerals Faux Tan Bronzer. I've been using this for years, like since high school. Like we're going on a decade, more than a decade of using this. And this retails for $23. And I recently just found a dupe that is like literally trying to rip them off. It's called Bare Face Cosmetics. So like, I mean, hello, packaging, eerily similar. Like back of packaging is eerily similar as well. Like they look the same. The only difference is the Bare Face Minerals retails for £9.98. This may only be available in the UK, so I do apologize for any of like my US subscribers here. I will say that this obviously is a bit smaller in size. Like you can see, it's not quite as tall. It is not quite as big, so you're getting less product, but the color is like almost identical. So I'm going to start with the faux tan on this half of my face, and a little goes a long way. So I literally just put like the smallest amount in a cap and then dust it, because otherwise you're gonna look like a clown. Like, see how pigmented that is already? Just like the teensiest little bit. And like my skin is just not having it today because I effed it up with that Tarte primer, which I have only been holding on to for the sake of this video. Like I literally just can't even use it anymore. Like you can see there's patchiness here from the stupid ass primer. Like what was the reason? We don't know. Like this is obviously just telling you that you don't always need to spend a ton of money. Now let's go in with the Bare Face Minerals on the other side of my face. Tap that into the cap. It's crazy how similar these look. Just gonna clean off that brush. And this again has like a nice coppery kind of undertone. Just super pretty. This has a tiny bit of a little sheen to it, but nothing intense. I feel like it just gives you like a really nice, fresh, summery glow, which I really like. So, I mean, you can see like in the cap that there is a bit of a sheen. It'll focus. Like you can see there's a little bit of a sheen happening, but I don't mind that. So I am really into like the glowy, kind of like fresh, youthful makeup look, which is more of like the dewy, glowy look. I'm really into that. So I'm fine with having a little bit of a sheen in the bronzer. The next product that I'm very excited to have duped is the NARS Orgasm Blush. Now this is the mini one. I got this because I wanted to test it out before committing to the full size. So this retails for $16, or if you get the full size, $30. Now this is like the classic, probably like most popular cult blush out there. It looks good on so many skin tones. And the dupe that I actually found for this is probably not what you would expect. It's not a dupe that like anyone has talked about that I've ever seen. It is the Catrice Cheek Lover Oil Infused Blush. So I'm just gonna hold those up side by side. Now, I know this one looks a little bit more peachy, this looks a little bit more pinky, but you can see they both have those gold shimmery flecks in there, but not like an insane amount. Insane amount. Yes. Brain fog. Okay, so like I said, 16 or 30 depending on the size. I don't know if they still sell the small one or not. I got this around like the holidays. The Catrice is $7. Yes. A moment of silence for that. And this is in the shade Blooming Hibiscus. We're gonna go ahead now and apply the NARS Orgasm to the cheeks. And I'll just, I know, I have two mirrors. One's down here. Use this one. I do really like this blush. It is so pretty. I do like the flecks in it. Some people don't like a sparkly blush or a sparkly bronzer. Totally fine. I'm not always in for that either, but lately I've been loving it. So just dusted off that blush brush. I like fuzz on my face, Jesus. And we're gonna go in now with the Catrice one. And you will see literally how similar the two of these are. Like, it is insane. It gives the prettiest like wash of color. There's not giant flecks of glitter in it. It's just got that nice like dewy gold sheen. And because this one is like oil infused, you are getting that kind of like dewy look. I feel like this one actually has more color payoff than the NARS. You don't have to like put as many coats of it on. And the size difference, I mean, I did get the smaller one, but like the smaller one was still 16, still 7, like what? I mean, I can't, like this just looks so nice. I love it, love. The next product I have here is the Becca Pressed Highlight, and I have the shade Moonstone. Again, this is the smaller size. Now, I believe this was discontinued, and so I know a lot of people have been wanting to dupe this. I'm not sure how much the small one was. I have a price here that's $24.99 on Amazon. I don't know if that's for the small or the big size. Mine is broken, which is why I'm not opening it and showing you, because I may or may not have dropped her at one point in time. So, yes, she is, you know, in bits, so to speak. So this is a really popular highlight that a lot of people really love, and it just has like the prettiest kind of like pearl, I don't even know if you can see honestly, prettiest pearlescent sheen. There you go, like so nice. Well, I'm here to save the day, don't you worry, because Makeup Revolution makes a $7 dupe, and she looks like this. Pretty gold packaging, like so nice. This is their highlighter reloaded in the shade Just My Type. Gorgina. Like, let's just see them side by side. I can't really hold this up because, like I said, I destroyed it, but I'll try. Oh, this is scary. They look very similar. And honestly, like the color payoff on this one, or the sheen payoff, is just as nice. Putting the Becca highlighter on this side of the face here. Like, it's just such a pretty highlighter. That's why I've kept it, even though I've destroyed it. Like, we can't just throw her out. That wouldn't be fair. I don't really know how I'm supposed to, like, do down the nose. It's, like, a bit awkward. And then we're gonna go in with the Revolution blush on this side of the face. Just so pretty. Like, look at that. It's just like a glass skin moment. It looks like almost like a dewy kind of wet look vibe is kind of what I'm getting. This one has a bit more of like a metallic kind of fleck to it. I feel like this is very much like giving that oil infused type of vibe that we were getting with the blush, which I really like. I'm really into like that like dewy wet look. So I'm actually so thrilled that I found this, because like I said, this one is no longer being made. It is no longer on the website. You have to find out like Amazon or eBay, so that's really annoying. Does anyone else feel like Becca Cosmetics is going out of business? Like, I feel like every time I buy a product from them, a year later when I go to repurchase it, it is no longer there and is discontinued. Like, don't even get me started on their like lip and cheek beach tint whatever blush that is that I'm like squeezing the last of the tube out. Don't get me freaking started. I'm trying to find a dupe for that as we speak, because I'm almost out of that. It's giving me hypertension. Okay, now moving right along into eyebrows. You're gonna laugh at this one because it is like the dupe of the century, and also the original sucks. So the original being the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint. This is the shade Spiked. This is supposed to be a dark brown shade, good for dark brown eyebrow hairs. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Why? Why is it yellow? Why is it not dark brown? What in the actual F is this? And no, it's not running out. Like, this has only been used a couple times. And I bought multiples of these because I thought this one was defective. Or the other ones I thought were defective. This is the newer one. They just, I don't know what to say about that. Oh, and that's $23 if you want to waste your money on that. But the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint. So they're both called brow tints. They both have the terms like, you know, tint in them, meaning they're both the brow tint. This one is in the shade Espresso, and they have like the same tip to them, you know, like that like real pointed felt tip. Like, this is what I was expecting when I got the MAC one. The dark. We want it dark, you know, to match the dark eyebrow hairs. I don't want blonde when it's, you know, meant to be dark. Like, no. So I'm gonna just like show you a little bit of my eyebrows. Like, I just like, it's you know, hurting my soul to even put this on the side of my face because I feel like it is just not fair to me because it's not gonna look good. But I guess I'll just like do it in the front because it's so light. It's literally like it's yellow. I can't, I'm sorry, like, I just can't. I showed you on the back of my hand, like, I'm just gonna have to use this one on both sides. And, like, again, not fair, but, like, this is, like, in the front of my eyebrow, and you can see nothing other than yellow. Like, it just looks like this weird stain. Like, I have stained brows. Like, I'm not living for that. Sorry. This is just such a nice, like, you know, really tinted product. I mean, it is a tint, but it comes off, you know, very rich in pigment. I've had this for a while and it has not dried out at all, and I use it all the time. So you get your money's worth. It's not like a product that's going to get really dry on you or anything like that. Great for precision. You want a really light hand with this because it is quite pigmented, and if you're getting like a dark shade like this one, it's very easy to overdo it. There we go. And like, that was just so simple. Like a quick flick of this brow pen and you look fire, and you don't need to spend $23 on a shit one that does not work. Yes, I said it. I said it. You guys know how much I love my Tartelette In Bloom palette. She is my baby. I bring her everywhere. This is like my ride or die eyeshadow palette. You can make a million looks out of this and you'll look good every single time. Like, it is just the perfect like nudes palette. You got some like rosy colors in there. I really like the warm browns. You got a few shimmers. You got some cooler dark tones. I actually use this tone here when I'm doing my eyebrows for like a shadow. Love. This retails for $42. So, you know, she's up there in price. This one gave me a heart attack when I saw it online, this dupe. I was like, sorry? Like, excuse me? Need to have? It is the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Mattes Basic, or Basic Mattes. And this is $8. Yeah, like, I shit you not. 8. And it's a dead ringer. It is a dead ringer. You just get more shades. Dead ringer for this palette. You have all the shades pretty much in here and more. The only thing is you don't have shimmers. So it is, like I said, a matte palette. But oh my goodness, like, even if we just hold it like this, like, they're just so similar. So yeah, that was soul crushing, to say the least. But, you know, I do it for the people. So let's just get right into it. I'm just going to not really like tell you all the shades I'm using, just because like that'll just get too complicated, but I will use like the matching shades from each palette so you can kind of get like an idea of the look that you can make, and they're both the same. Like I said, obsessed with this eyeshadow palette. I use it all the time. Like, it's my far and away most used eyeshadow palette, hands down. Just a phenomenal palette, really. I'm just pack this rosy shade all over the lid. And like I said, I'm not really going into detail about each shade I use because I've done that on a million other videos of this palette, but I'll just show you how you can recreate the same look. So that's what we're working with this side of the face, and now I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the Revolution palette. And this doesn't have a mirror, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm just going to be looking down at my mirror down here, but that's okay. We can live with that. So you can see those are both very, very similar. This might be like a little bit darker than this side, but overall you get the same outcome. And that was just like using maybe like 3 or 4 different shades. So you can do even more similar looks with the other colors that are provided in those palettes for you. The next dupe I have is also very exciting, and it is a dupe for the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara, and this retails for $27. And this is the Maybelline Sky High mascara, and this retails for $11.49. So right away you will see a huge similarity in the brushes, which was like my first like wow moment when I picked this one up. So obviously this wand is much longer than this wand. That's the first thing. So I'm gonna hold it up higher just so that you can kind of get a better idea. Like, they are so similar. You wouldn't even know which one's which if you didn't see the base. So starting with the Benefit on this side here, try my very hardest not to get it all over my lids, which is probably not gonna happen. The length you get with this mascara, it's just unmatched. Like, I freaking love it. It is just my favorite glam mascara I wear pretty much every time I go on a night out. And I always get compliments and asked about if I'm wearing lash extensions. On the other side, we've got the Maybelline Sky High mascara. Again, very similar brush. I will say the consistency of this one's a little bit easier. It's not as thick and dry. So you have more time really to kind of like get things right. My lashes are a little wonky in this corner here, so just ignore that. It's from sleeping on my side. They kind of just get stuck together. And with this one, I do apply 2 coats. With the other one, I don't think I need to. I just do the one, because I do feel like with the Bad Gal Bang, if you do too many coats, like, even if you do more than one, it can get clumpy. So I would say they look pretty dang similar. If I didn't know which was which, I would just probably assume it is the Bad Gal Bang mascara on both eyes. So, half the price too. And coming in at second to last place is lip liners. And I found a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Cheat, which retails for a whopping $24. And coming in to knock that out of the park is the NYX Lip Pencil in the shade Peekaboo for $4. $20 less. So, I'm going to show you how similar they are right now. So, Charlotte Tilbury on this side, NYX on this side. Can you even see a difference? Like, I don't think I can. This one might be the ever so teensiest, like 2% more peachy. This one's a little more pinky maybe, but like, oh my god. They're like identical. Identical, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't buy the Pillow Talk one again. I would just buy this one if I really wanted that like pinky look. So of course if I'm gonna dupe the liner, I have to dupe the Pillow Talk lipstick. Now this is like, as well as the liner, I got this in a kit, like one of those holiday collections. They are the smaller size versions, which are not for sale anymore. But the Pillow Talk lipstick, like the larger size, retails for $34. So that's This is obviously the smaller size, but it's the same shade. And the dupe I have, you are going to shit your MF pants because it is $2.99. $2.99. Dun dun dun. Are we ready? That is the Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade Bare It All. And I have been using this for years on this channel and before. Oh my god, it's like my favorite, like perfect kind of like pinky nude shade. Phenomenal. Like, I can't even believe it's $2.99. It's like, it's criminal how cheap it is, but like, love that for me. Like, look how similar that is. Like, the Charlotte Tilbury does look a little more mauve-y. The other one looks maybe a teeny bit more peachy, but very freaking similar. I mean, look at that. So similar. Yes, this one may be a teensy a teensy bit ever so slightly peachier than the Charlotte Tilbury, but I mean, for $2.99, can you live with it? Because I can live with it. Just saying. So that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this dupes video. This was super fun for me. And comment down below if you want me to do more dupe videos in the future. I do have another one coming up, so there will be at least one more. Let me know if you want to see that, or if you want to see like skincare dupes or something a little bit different. Like I said in the beginning, anything that you need from me at all will be linked down below in the description box, including all of the products seen in this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out.